Sometimes it's really hard for me to turn off the music that I'm listening to start recording. I've been up for over 3 hours. Almost 4. And it's amazing to me that I haven't recorded yet. But you just gotta love what you love. I mentioned my friend Toad in a video a few days ago about the hummingbird heart. I stole this from his house when he died. Because in the end, we didn't get all the paperwork done. Everything did not come to me, and in a way that's a grief and a relief. I found this rock in my granny's bathroom after she passed away. And for some reason I love it. You just gotta love what you love and follow your instinct. Not so much wait for permission, and not so much try to be perfect. Just let the energy flow. And the next few days, it's really, really supported to say what you need to say. So we're going to work on the throat in this video. It'll be a timeless video. Rub your hands together with me, if you will. We're going to do like 30 whole seconds here. And say what you need to say, even if it's in the mirror, even if it's inside yourself. It's like, where can you just be a little bit more honest, or maybe a lot more honest? Take your hands, feel that electric warmth, place them on your throat, and breathe. Exhaling into the earth. Inhaling fresh earth energy. Slurp it up. Big exhale through the top of your head like a whale. Send the energy up, 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 all the way into source. And then slurp up source energy. Life gets to be yummy, but you gotta be honest with yourself. Sustainable yumminess comes from being energetically efficient and effective. And you gotta be honest to access that. Honesty can be really challenging though, can't it? Since we've been programmed to be all pent up and lying about a lot of things, to create images and stories that associate us with particulars that feel appropriate or impressive. I'm always moved when someone can be honest, even if it's awkward, even if it's an uncomfortable truth. And that can be good or bad. It's not about weighing or measuring the truth. It's about feeling the center of the psyche, the center of the heart, the center of the sacral, the soul that's available when we are honest with ourselves. Feeling that stability of your own presence, where you are anchored in your own experiencing, where you are giving yourself permission, living permission to be the center of your own universe. We each and all are the center of our own universe. How many times did you get shamed for, like, what do you think the world revolves around you? Mine literally does. Yours literally does. Like, you are the architect of your reality, and your perception is programming your experience. Your perception of reality matters to your experiencing, and your experiencing does matter a lot to the collective. So we're just stroking the vocal cords, the throat. Let's lymph. Some movement in the belly with this conversation. Let it. Let the body be as miraculous and fascinating as it is. I'm definitely getting some images of like green pus, pond scum, as I was connecting into the lymph. And so it's like, what pockets of stagnancy are held in your throat there, and how can you, maybe watching this video is it, but how can you stir your own pot? How can you stir it up? The stagnancy, pond is made of water. Water gets stagnant, it gets filmy, stuff can grow on it. Water equates to our emotion, to the feeling and sensing faculties and layers of our being, and they are meant to be in perpetual flow. No stagnancy. Clean, fresh water. Very nurturing, very nourishing, very magical. So something's stuck. You don't actually have to know what it is, but if you're willing to experiment, maybe humming. I love that that's what came through when I started humming. That's like a lullaby tune or some kind of old English song from some movie that I watched a lot as a kid, but I always sang that to my son as he was going to sleep. Sometimes I still do. Maybe it is singing or vocalizing. Maybe it's some kind of animal noise. Just noise. It doesn't have to make sense. We're trained to try to make sense of everything before we let it up and out. But what if the most wisdom comes through in the flow? What if the wisdom arrives in allowing the flow? What if life could be so easy like that? Just a song from The Lion King coming through there. Can you feel the love tonight? I think Elton John does a nice cover of that. I don't know why that's making me laugh so much. But maybe it's just laughter that you need. Maybe it's just not holding back. Maybe it's a good scream in the forest. Scream into a pillow. Maybe it's a lot of swear words. I don't ever hold back on the swear words. I'm a nasty old pirate over here. It's so satisfying though, the hard consonants. Fuck. It's like this burst of energy that can slice through, come forward, no holding back. I'm thinking about, or what's crossing my mind is how when my kid was little, he started swearing. I mean, yeah, I do swear a lot. But he took on words that like aren't words that I use. Like he got really into the word bitch. I really super rarely use that word. I don't know, it's just not my word. But there was a big reaction. There must have been a big reaction the first time he said it. You know, like people being like, wow, and like hilarious, you know, and he loved it, loved getting that reaction, loved the moving energy, the laughter. And so it's like we'd be in the middle of the grocery store and he would just yell it. It was a lot more shock and silence, honestly, than laughter as it continued. And I was like, little dude, we gotta choose something else. This is so intense. But I think that's coming through because, as children, we did have this natural understanding of being provocative, of poking at the stuck energy to get it to move, and being satisfied. Like, it's so delicious and mischievous, but benevolent. To be provocative like that, to get the people laughing, or even shock, you know. Why is there stuck stuff? Because we went into shock, into freeze when we were in the middle of having an experience, and then it got like locked in the tissue. And so maybe it's stroking your throat, you know, stroke it all towards the heart. The heart is this miraculous pump that's just gonna move everything through your toroidal field to recycle. Just any way. In what ways can you give your throat permission today to let go, to express, to drain, letting energy waterfall through that part of you. Maybe you have secrets. Maybe you can whisper them to a flower. Maybe there's some kind of message or confession that you've been holding back on that's ready, that's ripe and ready. And you want to be with it while it's juicy. Don't let it rot. Then you got to deal with that stink. It's not like it just disappears on its own. You know. Sure, eventually it composts. Most compost really stinks. At least at my house. I think the message is like, enjoy the flavors, enjoy the flavor of your honesty, you know. even if it is stinky, like wherever you're at, see if you can have a joyful experience of like, oh, wow, I love the word wow. I say that a lot. It stretches in every direction. It's like, wow, beauty. Wow, that's disgusting. You know? Wow, that's atrocious. Wow, that is bliss. This wow is that innocence of curiosity, of fascination, of presence, of approval that you are alive in this moment, experiencing, witnessing, exchanging energy with this thing. And you're meant to be moving energy. And the throat is an important part of that. Even if it's simple and nonverbal, the vibrations, the future is frequency. Can you bring your vocal cords online to be a utensil, a tool of your own liberation? The song that's coming to mind now is Hallelujah, 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 Hallelujah. I'll try to remember to link that one in the description below. It's also crossing my mind to mention the I Am Sacred membership that I run, where we play particularly with nonverbal expression. It includes the tapping club that happens 3 times a week, but also once a week we get together for Hour of Power and we move energy with our body and our voices, and it feels amazing. So that's also in the description. I feel this strength and connection between the heart and the throat. There's like a little bit of like burning in the heart. Like, what is burning? Is there something on your heart that's burning to be released and relieved, to be shared? My nose is so itchy. And if there's nervousness or hesitation, resistance to sharing something, how can you be in the honesty with yourself with it? How can you, maybe it's not even practicing in the mirror, but can you offer it to yourself in the mirror where it's like, oh, this is what's on my heart? Or say it while sitting against a tree, or just with your hands on your heart, like, this is what's meaningful to me right now. And maybe there is this impulse to share it with someone else, but if that's blocked up, if that's not right now, or if that's too much or inaccessible, how can you be with it and allow it today? Yesterday, I was confessing, exploring, processing out loud to someone through typing, which I do. I have a few people that I can just we'll be talking and then it's like something like a band-aid is ripped off, and it's not dumping, it's like exploring a topic, having a conversation with myself, but in this safe container of friendship where there's and it's an awareness between us that there's no expectation of reply or even necessarily reading it. It's like, oh, I'm gonna let this happen here because I will find myself in it. And it is, it's like something, then it'll be like, oh, exploring, processing, making connections, just saying random stuff, and then boom, the connection, it clicks, and I'm like, oh, there it is, that's why that began. And it's like almost every time I forget that that's what's happening. I don't know explain it better than that. But so yesterday I was doing that. It's really, I said some things I was processing, particularly about my mom, family of origin. Going off of things that had been illuminated in a call that we were doing yesterday for I Am Free. And someone was practicing their mediumship skills on me. Because when you understand your boundary, you can also access the boundlessness. So I Am Free is exploring a boundary. And this person was practicing using their voice to be honest about what they hear when they feel anchored and relaxed in themselves, that they have access to a multidimensional landscape. And so I said, yeah, why don't you practice on me, practice with me, which was brave because we're also in a group setting. Brave of them. And I guess a little bit brave of me because you never know what's going to come through. And some things came through. So I was processing after that. And I noticed that I said some things and I was typing. I wasn't even saying it out loud, but it burned. My throat felt like it was suddenly burning. Oh. But as soon as I acknowledged that, the burning rather subsided. And energy is like that. It's like it calls our attention, and when the connection is made, it can shift. It can progress. It can evolve. And we are these authentic energy masters that understand this really well. And all my offerings are just supportive places of practicing and playing with that. But then I continued and I said the next thing. And I was reflecting on witnessing my mom and seeing deep things about her. And it felt really radically compassionate, but I felt like this chokehold on my throat. And it was like this don't you dare energy, like this desperate, like do not see me, do not say it energy, like how much the energy in her field is still working to deny these things. Yeah, and how desperate and dead it almost feels, but there's a lot of strength to that hand, but there was also this like zombie quality to it, just being run by programming as opposed to soul. Like that's not her deepest authentic truth. The like don't you dare. It's like that's just the fear. And it's like I'm not sharing this for any particular reason per se. Just following the guidance, following the flow that that didn't last. And it didn't feel like, I didn't feel judgment. I didn't feel like, oh, that was a bad, wrong experience to have and I shouldn't have gone there. I just felt like, okay, I see it, I sense it, and it subsides, not because I dismiss it, but because I acknowledge it. The energy can move, and if I can contribute that to my mom's reality from afar, amazing. I think it's almost impossible to give ourselves credit for how much we contribute when we are honest with ourselves. And we need to celebrate ourselves with honesty, through honesty, and in our honesty. I feel like I'm like milking the throat right now, but milking it upwards, giving it to source, to God, to that void point, that infinite recycling center. You know, if I can help you just a little bit to relieve the tension, the tightness, then I'm happy to show up here. And just be a random riffing on anything that crosses my mind. But this form of honesty with myself, showing up here and letting myself follow the energy and just trusting it, narrating it. I would say it has accelerated my practice of honesty with myself, or it's both a byproduct and a support system with and for my honesty with myself in my own everyday life. Oh, yeah. Where and how can you give that to yourself? How can you play today with letting the words or the noises come up and out? Yeah. Yeah. So many of us were shushed or silenced like as babies, and just these generations passing on that you soothe a baby when it's crying. But I have this really thin book on my shelf, and I don't even remember really what it's about because I didn't really read it, because I have a habit of just opening a book and finding this wow, glorious information on a page, or like this sentence that I totally fall in love with, and like that just feels like enough. I can ruminate and chew on that forever. I probably found this sentence about a decade ago, but it's that a baby will cry and cry, discharging the energy of the day, the shocks and stimulations, and that if it's allowed to cry and held, either physically or in attention, it will reach this point of discharge, and then it will look for eye contact. The baby will look for eye contact, for permission that it's safe to go even deeper into the discharge. And so with that eye contact, it will and let go even more. And then when that layer is complete, you'll be like, hello, life. Like there will be this just return to full innocence, joy, into availability and connection. I wonder how many times you actually got that, if ever. Because most of our caregivers were trained, were programmed, and it's been through generations and generations of not being able to withstand the permission and provocation of experiencing a baby crying like that, because it's igniting something in your system that's like, ooh, this is natural. Like just the system knows, like I'm meant to do that too. I'm meant to let go. I'm meant to discharge. But most of us are trained to just hold on, to hang on, to stabilize and feel secure by hanging on and being able to hold a lot of energy. Where if a baby's allowed to do its thing in its natural multidimensional intelligence, it's going to be breeding permission. It's going to be very provocative to actually discharge and circulate energy at the level that we're very capable of, and that does equate to liberation and very deep benevolent power. This is world-saving stuff right here. But we can only start with ourselves. We can only really just be with life as it comes, be provoked, be sincere in our experiencing. You know, that story, that statement has come through. It's like, maybe that's still some of what's stuck, and like, it's not about remembering details or knowing exactly why. It's just, it just needs out. Just needs permission to flow, to recycle, to finally complete that feeling experience of discharging back into innocence and authentic joy and availability to life, this pure presence, you know, that's still alive in each of us always. The voice, the throat, is this extraordinary instrument for accessing that relief, that release. Yeah. And when you get the energy moving, like, let yourself integrate, rest, nap, follow your intuition, your instincts, as opposed to resist and deny them. Another quest. Drink water, lubricate your vessel, your field. You know, you got this. You got this. You totally got this.